Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming. We've got our class today. We have two performers. The first one is Addie, who will be playing the first movement, part of the first movement of the Stamitz Concerto, coached by our guest coach, Stewart Newbold. Stewart is a graduate of the Curtis Institute of Music and knows a lot about music.
Abby, if I talk too much, you can put me on mute. Excellent, excellent, excellent. That's really wonderful, Abby. Um, I think that the most help I can give is shaping this concerto. It's do you ever listen to operatic singers?
Um, Not really, no.
Uh, when you're when you have nothing to do, you try to listen to some famous operatic singers singing, especially music from the Romantic era. You can move back to Mozart and Stamitz after that, but it'll help you shape these phrases and how to bring emotion out from the audience. So if we can, if I can help there, would that be okay?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, but really excellent. At some point, you're going to win a contest playing this. Really good, really good. So, in the beginning, um, can we start there?
Yeah. Do you want just me to play or play with Miss Stephanie?
Um, no, let's play it together. I'd like you to go from measure 72 to 80, if that's okay.
Okay.
Okay. Let's stop there. Abby, on the even on the first chord, there's just a little bit too much break between the chord and the second note. There should be a little break, but more of a chord. Uh, and you're starting at soft, right?
Right.
Now, for the first two measures, where are you? Where are you leading this phrase?
Do you mean on the bow?
What-
Oh, what do you mean by where? Like, do you mean where am I playing it on the bow or?
Yeah. How are you? How are you shaping these first two measures?
Where are you going?
Um, I couldn't tell you. I'm not sure. I think I kind of, and it doesn't usually, I usually tend to play it louder than I mean to, but I'm trying to just kind of make it soft. I don't know.
Yeah, but even when you're playing softly, it has to evoke a motion, a shape. And what I would suggest is think about this, just a slight crescendo to the second measure. That note is the most important part of it. And frankly, the next two measures are the same thing. And then the next 1, 2, 3, 4 measures, where do you think that should lead?
The most important note after those measures or in those?
Well, try this. There's lots of ways to play it, but what I would suggest is that on measure 79, that F, that's where the crescendo should lead, especially with the ornaments, the triplets, and all of that leading into it.
So I should bring that F out more?
What's that?
I should bring the F out more because I think I tend to lift off it early.
Yeah, I would lead into it. Let's at least play with that, okay?
Okay.
Let's do that again. Okay, so Abby, how did that feel?
I felt like I got more, I don't know if emotion's right, but it felt more natural, I think.
Okay, now the only other thing that I would say in measure 76, that the lattice chord, I would make it very, very full. I wouldn't make it staccato, but just, it's the lattice one, it should be full. And
We're gonna do a bowing change here.
okay.
I think we'll take care of what you're looking for. We start right on that measure?
Okay, sounds good.
Nope, sorry. This is hard. Wait, so
Use
it's
the whole bow. Yeah. Use the bow on the string. Da. You know it breaks. Yeah.
Good. The chord was much better. Just make it very full, and then there should be a lift or a lilt before that second note, but it should be grab the attention of the audience, and that you're leaning it to there, and then I'd love for you to continue to try to create a crescendo into that measure 79. Make sense?
Yeah.
And on that F, really puts a lot of vibrato on it. Make sense? because all of this beginning is leading to that note.
Okay. Okay.
So do you mean the note that's the quarter note or the half note we're going to?
A half note.
Okay.
She's in viola club. Okay, we got it.
Okay, let's start at the beginning again, and let's shape this.
Okay.
Good. How did that feel?
It felt really good. I missed the like lift after the chord, but that was good.
Okay, so think about it that way. There's so many ways to shape music, but there has to be direction from on each note, and think about that, and you discover that with listening to singers. That's how I learned music. And I'm suggesting it to you, but the direction in music is critical. That that brings the audience to follow you, to understand what you're trying to do. The emotions evolve from that motion. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. So, how much more time do we have?
Oh, probably 15, 20 more minutes.
Okay. Well, let's start at measure 80.
Just keep playing.
What's that?
Should I end somewhere specific or just start there?
Why don't we end at measure 98.
Okay. Were we starting at 80 or 90?
80.
Okay.
Abby,
Pardon?
just a suggestion. You're trying to communicate to your pianist when you're going to start. How do you communicate that? Your violin and then bring it down. Up and bring it down, and just like a conductor.
Sorry.
That's you two will work it out, but
Yeah, I generally I tap my foot and then I take a breath when I lift.
oh, okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Okay. So a lot of this is very operatic, especially toward the end. Those forzandos and the direct contrast on 91, where you know, those forzandos, and then you start softly and delicately. And before that, Stamitz allows you to show off with in measure 82 onward, but you know, again, the shaping, what are the most important notes, you know, and again, 80 starts with a soft singing, but it should go to measure 83. Make sense?
Yes.
So think of a slight crescendo into that that note on 83, the first note.
Should I then do a decrescendo towards the end of the note, or at the end of the measure? I think Miss Stephanie had me doing that, where I just go very quiet. I hit the D very quietly.
Well, give it a shot. Make a crescendo into that measure. Let's start at measure 80, okay? Okay. Even before that, pretend you're singing those first two measures. You know, I don't want to make you sing to me, but with your viola, you should. The direction of that needs to be a crescendo, and especially in that first measure, there needs to be a direction into that second measure.
Okay.
Let's give that a try. Yes, much better.
I have trouble with that, with the crescendo on the first measure, because I tend to run out of bow anyway. So.
I can't help you with that technique.
Okay, let's try. We're gonna fix that now.
Okay. Okay. How did that feel?
Better.
Yeah. Okay. And if you can give me a bigger crescendo during 82 into 83, that'd be more better. How did that feel?
It felt more crescendo. I don't know.
It 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 had a lot of direction. It sounded very good, Abby. Very good. All right. All right. Let's start at 84, and you can show off for us again. Okay. Um, that was very good. But what I'd like to know, Abby, when you're thinking of these 16th notes, where is it going? How? What are the most important notes? Um, Obviously, the measure 88, those notes, they have to be dynamic going into those forzandos. And again, your bow needs to be aggressive as well as your vibrato to really make that sound operatic. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And then the stark contrast at 91, that was excellent.
Thank you.
But the direction of these 16th notes, I want you to think about that. Where are they going? What do you want to achieve here besides just playing the notes? Obviously, the first measure, it's the same thing, but the measure 85, those chords have to go someplace, and I would suggest they a slight crescendo into 86, and then 87 is start to get more excited, and then 88 is when you really move into that operatic singing. So basically, you're going to start softly and build and build and build, and then start singing. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, let's start at 84.
Oh, sorry.
very good. You know, Abby, I have to really compliment you on you know, when you go from 16th notes to triplets, you do an excellent job. The rhythm is there and very apparent. And I can't say that about most people, even professionals. So very good job there. I think we might be running out of time, but uh, I hope that helped a little bit. Think about shaping. Shape. Where are these notes going? What am I trying to express?
Okay.
Okay?
Can we go another 10 or 15 minutes?
What's that?
Can we go another 10 or 15 minutes?
Sure. Okay. You want to start at where would you like to start?
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You were suggesting maybe to help her with cueing when she's working with another musician to give her.
Yes.
And I thought maybe we just started working on that, and I was thinking maybe some input on you, just a couple of minutes, and then use that for what else we're going to work on next.
Okay. So how to cue another musician? Yeah. When you even in a string quartet, when you're sitting as first or you're leading there, use your instrument as a baton. You know, obviously you're going to breathe to direct yourself, but lift your violin and then down, just like a conductor, boom.
Okay.
And that communicates it extremely well.
Okay.
About that, okay?
Okay.
I know you tend to be a little bit shy directing your teacher, but but that's your role right now.
Yeah. I've played in quartets before, so I'm like used to coming in all at the same time, but I've never been the one to lead the
At some point you will, Abby. I guarantee you. You're so talented.
Thank you.
You will.
Well, I'll keep practicing. Is there
Anything you want to ask about musically? You've done all right.
I had. Do you think we could go over the first like part of the second page?
He's on a different edition.
First part of the second page. Which measure?
Sorry, that's 166 to
Yeah, I see it.
I just kind of because I like fiddled around with some things in terms of dynamics.
Yeah, this is a lot of singing here.
It's probably my favorite part of the piece.
Sing.
So we started 166.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sorry, I forgot. I immediately forgot your advice. I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay. Um, well, this is one I'd suggest, just as simplistic, Abby, is that, again, I would move into 67, 68, 169 as being the most important direction going into that. I would direct all of the phrases with a direct motion, especially going into 168. That leap up to the upper note needs to be a strong crescendo into the 169.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
Let's give that a shot. How'd that feel?
Um, I liked the crescendo, 167 definitely. I kind of like going, what I've been doing is I go back down, and start on the F really quietly and then crescendo. I don't know.
That's good. I mean, you can shape it that way. I just want it to be clear and for you to express it that way.
Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, that works.
Okay.
Can you go on from there?
Yeah. Well, let's start at 166 and let me hear you do it that way, and then we can continue.
Okay.
Sense? Okay. Now on this music, it in measure 180, it says crescendo.
I think I tried, but I didn't quite get it.
Okay.
Can you try that again?
Yeah, that's fine. Where would you want to start at 170?
Okay.
Okay, Abby, what I'd suggest is that, you know, with the bowing and all of that, you figure out how measure 180, those, the third and fourth beat lead into that 181, and don't don't soften that note. Directly go into it with a lot of vibrato, and
Piano, because I just kind of like how that concluded. Do you want me to just keep all three of those forte?
well, no, it should lead into ba 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 the D, and then you have the triplets, and you can express those how you want, but those two notes have to lead into the third note.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, let's start from, are we out of time now?
Like a couple minutes, yeah.
Okay, let's try this once more from measure 174. Excellent. How did that feel?
It felt more powerful. That was nice.
Okay, good.
All right. Thank you so much.
Really nice job, Abby. I'm so impressed with you.
Thank you.
Really, really good.
I appreciate it. Thank you for working with me. I really, yeah.
Thank you, Stewart.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Appreciate it. She's
My
very
pleasure.
excellent, isn't she? So next we have Anissa, and we're doing a violin duet, but you're not going to see the other player because it's pre-recorded. So this one's by Wohlfahrt, Opus 38, 109. It's just a short violin duet. Very nice. Very good. Yes, you're doing a great job when you have the accompaniment part. It's coming off really well in terms of shortening your strokes. I think it's coming off great on there. The balance is much better. And what I was hoping to work on is along the lines of Mr. Newbold was in terms of your phrasing of really deciding where is this one going. Like it's starting at 5. So when you're going from 5 to 6, where is that thing going? You know, where's the cookie at the end of the room where we can smell it, we know it's there, and we're going to get that cookie, but we have to wait and pace ourselves step by step towards it. Where's the cookie in that phrase? It's kind of a tricky one. Oftentimes you and then it's short. So you see what I'm doing there with the phrasing. You want to try the first 4 bars because I think that's the trickiest part. Starting at 5. Better. That was better. I like that. It got bigger. And then this part, I think of it as, and I really meant that. And you can get louder at that point, or you can get softer. I think either way works really well. You want to try it one more time?
Okay. This
Yeah,
just
let's
has
start
4
at 5 and go all the way to
okay.
8.
To 8. Okay. Oops.
Very nice. Very nice. Don't you love when we're trying to work with the musical aspects? We're using the left brain to get the technical and get everything in tune, and then the right brain has to conceptualize and shape it all. Someone once, I always got them mixed up a lot, and someone said the best way to remember this is a stop sign. So when you look at a stop sign in traffic, the left brain sees that this has the letters S-T-O-P, and the left brain says, stop the car. But the right brain sees the bread, and it sees the octagon shape, and it sees how far up from the road it is. You know, if I'm too much in my right brain, I'm a hazard on the road, because I'll see that stop sign and go, wow, isn't that gorgeous, and go right through it. So that's what I'm talking about in terms of when we're working on music, we have to have that technique down really, really strong and tight so we don't have to worry about it so much. You know. But when we're first starting out for a while, every time we're thinking about the musical phrases, we lose some of the notes. You know, they can get out of tune, or so the bow somewhere goes out of control, things like that. So I think it's just, you know, be aware, be easy on yourself. Sometimes even still, if I'm working on something, I'll say, oh gosh, especially these pop tunes, I'm always trying to make them a little more interesting and less repetitive. As an instrumentalist, playing pop music without the words is really, really hard to keep it interesting. And I will try to experiment with a phrase. And I don't really care how it sounds. I just want to feel it and see what my bow does. Because my bow this is the paintbrush. So the feelings have to go into the bow. And then I say, oh, how'd that feel? Maybe it didn't sound so great, but I can always clean it up at some point. I'll say, well, gosh, what bowing did I just do there? And that's where recording yourself.
Yeah.
Very, very helpful. I love using technology, and I love using video. As soon as I had a video camera, I thought, I'll just videotape what I'm practicing. Because sometimes in the inspiration of the moment, I completely forgot what bowing I used.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice to use the technology these days.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody want to talk about anything or have any questions? If not, we can close out. Thank you, Stewart, for coming. Anissa, thank you for playing and being so patient. We had a long coaching. It was a big piece. And thank you, Denise and Shannon, Judy for hosting, and Addie
My pleasure.
for coming here to play. It's so much fun to play together in the same room with people again, especially Addie. I didn't hear that.
This was fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
good, thank you. Well, I'm glad you could come. Maybe we'll have you come back again. Let me know if you want to come back again.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming.